The government may consider a total ban on set net fishing after 5 endangered hector dolphins were killed in a single net. The deaths were discovered a month ago off Banks Peninsula on the east coast of the South Island, where it's estimated there are only 9,000 of the dolphins left in total. Here's our fisheries reporter, Conan Young.
The Minister of Fisheries, Stuart Nash, was informed about the deaths 11 days ago. Keenly aware of the negative public reaction that would flow from news that 5 endangered dolphins had been killed in a single incident, he spent the past week getting his ducks in a row before going public. Today, he said the fisher involved had been profoundly affected by the incident, which involved the use of a set net, an indiscriminate form of fishing blamed for the deaths of many hector dolphins.
I think everyone acknowledges an absolute tragedy the fact that 5 hector dolphins were caught in a set net, to the point where the fisherman himself is so distressed he's giving up set netting and he's going to catch his quota on long lines. Both the Minister and I think every New Zealander watching this will agree that 5 dolphins caught in one net at one time is unacceptable.
Standing next to him was Minister of Conservation Eugenie Sage, who said a ban on set nets was long overdue.
Well, we could certainly follow overseas examples in California, where they've banned them to protect turtles and seabirds, in Finland to protect their seal. Yes, there's a lot of evidence that's showing that set nets are an indiscriminate method. They catch dolphins and seabirds. I think it's long overdue that we look to phase them out. Stuart Nash appeared to agree on the need for a ban.
All credit to the fisherman. He did report these. There wasn't a camera or an observer on his boat, so he did the right thing. But as the Minister mentioned, this isn't his fault. He was fishing, as we understand, legally. He was using a legal method, but perhaps that method now needs a much greater level of scrutiny on whether it's appropriate in the 21st century.
But he said the 300 fishers that depend on set netting for their living needed to be consulted first as part of a review of the 10-year-old threat management plan that covers the dolphins.
So we need to understand the consequences on them. We need to understand, there's just a whole lot of evidence we need to do before we make a decision. And I think everyone would appreciate that. You just can't make a decision based on one incident.
It was the second time the fisher had caught a hector dolphin in his net, but the first time he'd ended up with 5 of them. He first went to the industry group Fisheries Inshore with the news. Its chief executive, Jeremy Helson, says his members have already voluntarily closed set net fishing in Southland in order to preserve endangered yellow-eyed penguins, and may consider doing the same around Banks Peninsula.
We welcome those sorts of initiatives, and we'd certainly look at similar sorts of initiatives around Banks Peninsula, but as I said, we really don't want to preempt the outcomes of the threat management plan.
Jeremy Helson says there are already large parts of the coast that are subject to set net bans, including up to 4 nautical miles off Banks Peninsula. He notes the 5 dolphins were captured just outside this zone.
So there's a huge amount of area that there's no risk at all, and that's primarily where the dolphins live. So it's thinking about that residual risk and what might be appropriate to do to further manage that.
The government hopes to start consulting on a possible set net ban and the role cameras could play in reducing captures by June or July. For Checkpoint, ko Conan Young tēnei.